Welcome to take number 8, trying to do a summation of the story from the time that the crew landed on Polaris. So we will try this one more time. On June 17th, chapter 523, we find that the crew, after Kyra makes peace with the universe, so to speak, seeks a little R&R on a planet called Polaris. So the last 60 some odd chapters has all situated the crew on Polaris, and they've gone off, as you might imagine, their separate ways. Em and Trev together went to a seaside cottage, rented a small villa, and spent some time in the local village. We see their relationship deepen. Zoe, who is pregnant with Vaughn's grandchild, went off with Vaughn together. Kyra sort of went her own way, as did John and Ariel, once again seeking their own sense of getting away, relaxing, and dealing with some interpersonal issues that had occurred. So, in short, if you wanted to go back to this segment of the greater story, go back to June 17th, to the chapter Her Patroon, where we see Em and Trev spending a day in the village outside of the cottage that they've rented. Here's the executive summary of, in essence, what has occurred and where the drama is in these last 60 chapters. Somehow, some way, when we don't know all the details, but it looks like there's some sense of foul play involved. The female Hynerians, which is to say Kyra, Yule, Mari, Zoe, and Emmy, have all become ill, become deathly ill, and it's been of the gravest concern to Zoe being pregnant because the determination was made the illness had progressed to where a choice would have to be made, that it was believed she would not survive this illness, but the child could if they would operate. The operation would kill Zoe, but would give the child a chance to live. If they did nothing, the doctor told Vaughn, both lives would be lost. And so that was the first critical element in the illness with regard to the story, is what do we do with Zoe, or in particular, what does Vaughn do? Because Vaughn is the one who was asked to make that decision. So that's the greater drama of the last 60 some odd chapters. The last several months is this mysterious illness and what is causing it, and just as importantly, what do we do about it? Now, let me give you a snapshot of where the crew is right now, because they're all in separate places. So this will give you kind of a, here's where we are right now in the story. And I'll start with John, Kyra, Ariel, and Emmy. John has picked them up and has brought them back to Bravo. Bravo is still on the planet. They have not launched. But he has gathered them and brought them back to Bravo in order to get them off the planet, because what they have learned about the disease is the planet itself is causing the illness. And there is no cure. And so they simply have to get them off planet. Well, the first complication was when John showed up at the chapel, which is where most of the crew had gathered. Zoe had magically been sucked into or disappeared into this magical font inside of the chapel. We don't know exactly what has occurred, and currently Zoe is missing into the font. John says we have to get off planet, and Vaughn says I'm not leaving without Zoe. So that is why John and Kyra, Emmy, Mari, and Ariel are together, and Vaughn and Zoe are not. As soon as John leaves, Vaughn tries to get an answer out of the chaplain. The chaplain has no answer, and he puts his finger into the font, and Vaughn likewise disappears. So Zoe and Vaughn have disappeared in the font, and that's where we are currently with them. John, Kyra, John, Kyra, Emmy, Mari, and Ariel are back at Bravo. Kyra, Emmy, and Mari are very weak and very ill. And so they're trying to gather the rest of the crew before they take off. And so that leaves us, in essence, Raj and Yul and Trev. Trev, who has gone through many ups and downs since he's arrived on planet with regard to his relationship to Emmy, is spending some time with a mysterious female that the story has not exactly explained who she is and what she is about to do with Trev. She appears to be a lady for hire, so to speak, and Trev appears to be both drowning his troubles and drowning them not just in alcohol. So that's where Trev is. He's in a quote-unquote hotel room with this female, and we don't know exactly what's happening, but something of interest is about to happen. So that's where he is right now. And then we have Raj and Yul, who were together. Raj had discovered Yul was very ill. He had called what he thought was the hospital, who he thought was sending an ambulance to come pick her up. And when there is a knock at the door, it is not the ambulance, it is Arn. Arn is a Kamulkian that is a friend of Bravo, so to speak, to kind of summarize his situation. And as soon as Arn arrives, they are attacked. We don't know by who. And so we have Arn, we have Yul, and we have Raj under attack currently, as Arn was trying to pick up the two of them and bring them back to Bravo to meet with John and the crew. So that's where we are. To tie it all together, Vaughn and Zoe have disappeared into the font. Raj and Yul are under fire in a firefight right now with Arn by them side, trying to fight their way back to Bravo. And then we have John and Kyra and the rest of the crew at Bravo, trying to communicate with those who are missing, trying to gather everyone, trying to get off planet. So that's I guess the long-winded executive summary of where we are and what has happened. Obviously, we've gone into a great deal of detail with regard to John struggling to deal with Kate's, his wife, her murder and rape. We have seen Ariel rise to the occasion in these chapters and really show us a side of her we've never seen before. A very good side, a very bright side. We've seen Kyra, as she has done throughout all of the story, revisit in her memory remembrances with Papa and some of the lessons that he taught. We've seen Trev and Emmy's relationship strengthen, grow, deepen, and at the same time implode over a potential misunderstanding over some facts that Trev had shared with Emmy, and Trev's inability to see what was happening when they got ill. And so in a nutshell, that's more or less where we are. As I always say in my comments, I appreciate each and every person who has followed the story, has taken the time and made the effort to leave wonderful comments that have really meant the world to me. So I hope this is helpful. If it is, leave me a comment on this post and perhaps we'll do some more. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the blog.